Hi guys, welcome back for another episode of Death Stranding. Push those like and subscribe buttons if you're enjoying this series. And now let's get into this.
A gun won't help you here. But it still has a role to play.
Wow. What a story. So there you have it, guys. This entire game has been about connecting people. Or dying alone. Sam, the consummate loner, he had to evolve. He had to become connected to humanity. That's the test that Amelie laid out for him. If he passed, if he managed to show Amelie that connecting to people was important, even for a guy like him, even for a guy that was actually dead the whole time, then Amelie would be convinced that giving the world a few more thousand years, as she put it, would have been worth it. That's why Sam shouldn't shoot her at the end. He had to prove he's not about killing people, he's about connecting with them. Now the price he has to pay, they say, is that he has to stay on this beach forever. Although Amelie did say something very interesting at the very end. This gun, she said, still has a role to play. What kind of role could a gun have to play right now? We are alone. We do not have anybody to shoot. But remember, this is not a game about shooting anyway, so the role this gun has to play is gonna be different. Everything is about connecting people, even a gun. So who is that gun connecting us to? Remember, this was the gun that shot Cliff Unger. This was the gun that Sam used. This was the gun that everybody used. In a sense, it's connecting everybody.
Quiet, and I'll tell you. There is no time for questions. When you were young, you used to have bad dreams. You cried about them all the time. The truth is, those weren't your dreams. They were mine. For as long as I can remember, I've dreamt of the beach. Not just while sleeping, in my waking hours too. In my dreams, I watched the world end so many times. Countless past extinctions that decimated life on this planet. Again and again and again. At first, I didn't understand what I was seeing or why. And that wasn't the worst of it. There were other, more terrible dreams. Dreams of death and destruction. Of a massive extinction to come. Like this one. And I would always be the one to end it all. To bring about the last stranding. As I have today.
bit by bit, we are going to get even more story out of Amelie. After each set of credit rolls, Amelie is going to appear and explain us just a little bit more about this world, about herself, about how we are connected to other people. If you take some time and look back at the game, you'll see that every decision made, every weird aspect of the game, everything you thought was out of place, was actually very carefully crafted by Kojima. The fact even that killing people causes void outs, the fact that destroying one life can destroy so many more. Isn't there like a very clear message in that? Doesn't that mean that you destroy more lives because we are connected to each other? You destroy one, you destroy all. So in essence, every decision made by the development team in this game has been towards that direction. And I have to say, this is what makes this game very unique and why I love it so much.
The first operation, I was only 20. I opened my eyes and found myself on the beach. But the moment I came round, I was back in the hospital bed. I was split across two worlds. Bridget, my ha in that one. Amelie, my ka in this. Somehow, the two of us managed to coexist. Soon, our ages began to diverge. Bridget's body got older, while the beach kept Amelie's the same. So I came up with a story. It was my daughter. A daughter with a debilitating condition and an absent father. Look. Amelie. Is French for soul. A soul that's a lie. There was no Amelie. Only me and the beach. I thought it was a curse in the beginning. But later, I started thinking, maybe I can use this. I tried to find out more about the beach. Because understanding the beach had to be the key to interpreting my visions of the future.
Well, we kind of knew that part of the story, but it's nice to get a clarification nonetheless. Amelie and Bridget being the same person, torn apart. One being body and one being soul, I guess. There is a nice meaning about the soul persevering and living on, I guess. And just in case you didn't notice, BTs are not the bad guys in this story. Every time you kill a BT, quote unquote, on the world kill, those BTs give you likes. I don't know if you guys noticed that. So they are actually thankful that you are releasing them. You're not actually killing them. BTs have remained in this world because they couldn't have moved on, I guess. The beach, that's the place BTs inhabit. It's just the middle world. It's not the end world. It's not paradise or hell, or whichever word you want to use for that. So BTs are essentially stuck. They are the product of huge massacres, explosions, things that killed a whole lot of people, entangling them together into a beach that makes them have to stay in this sort of middle world. You killing them, again, quote unquote, on the world killing, releases them from their torment, I guess. So you are helping the world even when you are killing BTs. Everything Sam has done was to better the world. He didn't know it. He needed time, and Amelie told him so. You need time to understand.
I realized the beach was connected to the world of the dead, which meant that somewhere out beyond it were the memories of time itself, including those of every organism that ever lived. 4.6 billion years of biological history, a history that might even stretch back to the creation of the universe. The chiral network and everything that followed was born from my pursuit of that knowledge. By passing data through the beach, we were unbound by the restrictions of time. Simulations that would have taken years or more were simple and effortless. Everything that the Earth had lost and forgotten could be reconstructed and reclaimed. But shortly after we began our research, America saw its first void out. I thought I was running out of time, that my nightmares were becoming a reality. So I raced to complete the chiral network as quickly as possible. The past held all the answers. If only I could find a way to piece them together. A network that bridged our world and the beach. That might do it, I believed. So I started researching bridge babies, children bound to the world of the dead. What causes an extinction entity to come into being? What was the reason for the previous 5 mass extinctions? The answers to those questions would tell me how to stop the 6th. I founded bridges, more determined than ever to build a chiral network that would cover all of America. But the longer I fought my war against the inevitable, the weaker I became. My Ha had cancer. The beach's punishment, maybe, for not playing along like a good little EE. And then, just like that, my Ha was gone. I couldn't finish what I'd started. So, I asked you to do it for me, and you did. You helped us complete the network, helped us to reclaim everything the universe experienced from its inception to this moment. Every mystery was ours to solve, like this one. Once, there was an explosion. A big bang that gave birth to time and space. Thing is, it was more like a big fluke. All that matter and antimatter should have canceled itself out, leaving nothing. But somehow a tiny speck of matter survived. Just enough. Enough to make this world and everything in it. A world that shouldn't be, a world out of balance. Order inevitably gives way to chaos. Everything that lives must inevitably die. It's like the universe is trying to return us to the nothing we came from. Maybe the Big Five were its best attempts to finish us off. But somehow, life always managed to survive just enough. Enough to thumb its nose at the will of the cosmos. You know, I'm starting to think that extinction might be the key to overcoming total annihilation. It forces life to fight to survive, to endure, to exist. That's why the Big Five ultimately rekindled life instead of extinguishing it. From the ashes of the dead rise the living. Stronger and wiser. Inheritors of the legacy of existence itself. They defy the universe and refuse to surrender. They say, we're just getting started. Extinction is an opportunity.
Once again, some very, very interesting and delicate messages by Kojima there. Balance. The world is trying to become nothing. It started from nothing. It tries to become nothing. Matter and antimatter fusing together to destroy our life. There was no life in the beginning, and there should be no life at the end. That's what the universe tries to do. Chaos prevails, though. We are that chaos. We are a product of the chaos, of that chance, that very tiny chance that something might escape the universe's will. And there comes the even more delicate balance between the universe and the chaos that the universe itself created. Are they fighting? Or are they actually helping each other? Is the universe trying to end humanity? Or is the universe trying to evolve humanity? Is it trying to cause an extinction? Is it trying to make sure we become nothing? Or is it trying to make us better? By forcing us to face our own deaths, our own extinctions, by forcing us to connect with others, by forcing us to restart, by making us understand that the end is not the end, it's just another beginning. Those are my thoughts, at least. It's very interesting that Kojima designed this kind of game.
I pulled the trigger twice that day. I knew at once I'd made a mistake. I found your beach and looked everywhere for you. Sam. There you are. You want to go home? Let's go home. I wanted to set you free from death once and for all. It's okay. I know the way. But in doing so, I upset the fundamental balance between life and death. I just wanted to save you. I am an extinction entity. It's my fate to lead our species to extinction. But that moment, you became part of that fate. You became a repatriate, and dooms started spreading my nightmares to others throughout the world. It was me that got you and everyone with dooms into this. Not long after, a death stranding occurred. The dead clung to our world, and BTs used my beach to cross over and devour them, triggering more void outs. A catalyst that would set the world on a path to extinction. It was my duty to serve as a sacrifice, to wait and watch it unfold from this beach. That, or hasten the last stranding and end this slow death. Given these, my only options, I chose to end it quickly. But to trigger the last stranding, I needed you, a part of me. Here too. I would be able to witness extinction consummated with you by my side. But now that you're here, There's another choice. You can cut me off. An EE doesn't have that option for itself. But in my nightmares, I saw another future. One that you chose. One where extinction is hope against total annihilation.
So now, we're getting into the personal story of Sam and Amelie. By the way, the credits are rolling, but do not go yet. There's still more left to this game. There is still another mission. Anyway, you saw Amelie there shoot Sam. Sam as a baby. She obviously didn't want to do this. It obviously was an accident. That was a fateful moment that changed the course of history, I guess. In a lot of weird ways as well. Like Sam, he was returned to the world of the living because Amelie cared. An extinction entity, somebody who's supposed to kill the world, actually cared about somebody. Now, if that's not enough to change the world, I don't know what is. The very thing that ends you cares about you. There's another deeper meaning for you, I guess, guys. So Sam was returned to the world of the living, ironically only to hasten its demise. By returning to the world, he connected it to the beach. He was the cause of dooms and voidouts and BTs leaking into the world and accelerating its death. Even more ironically, the only person, Sam, the only person who could end the world was the one who could save it. The only thing he had to do is start caring about people. Start connecting them. To add even more irony on top of it, Amelie had Sam connecting the beaches in order to quickly kill off the world to spare him from suffering. But the world and Sam himself, in the end, they showed Amelie that there is no suffering in trying. Persevering is not suffering. It's hope. Inevitability doesn't change that fact. And I guess hope always wins over inevitability. So another one of those Kojima meanings there for you guys. Even if the world is living on borrowed time, who cares? We still get to live our lives in a meaningful way, I guess. We still get to connect with people, and it's not about living forever. It's about what you do with the time you're given, I guess. That's probably the meaning of this game here. There is still something that has been left unanswered, though, in this game. And that is, what about the gun that Amelie gave us? It still has a purpose to serve, she said. Have we seen that purpose yet? I mean, the credits are rolling and we still do not know what she meant. That's because that part is still to come. I know it's a bit weird having the credits roll and anything, but this is another hidden meaning by Kojima. The credit rolls you see, they are an end, right? They are supposed to end the game. Just like the Death Stranding was supposed to end life. But the Death Stranding didn't end life because we pushed on, we pushed forward, right? So these credits, they are not going to end the game. I don't know if Kojima intended it to be interpreted this way or if this is just my interpretation, but I kind of like it. I'm gonna stick to it. So let's enjoy this musical break. And then we still have one mission left to go, so stay tuned, guys. Do not just go away just yet. This is a game that teaches us that end is never the end, so it's not. Stick around. Thank you for watching, guys. Remember to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this episode, and I will catch you in the next one.